guys, welcome to the pajama party. I know I'm a little early, but I wanted to get my phone set up so that instead of trying to reach out and touch, I could just turn on the videos as I just don't know how to do that. So I think I've got it. Let's see. Oh, now I need to mute it, right? Hello, Deb. Alrighty, so I think, yes, I've got it figured out. So each time it's like something new for some odd reason. Hey, Lori. Yeah, I like this much better, able to look at my phone instead of keep reaching out. But I thought what I would talk about while I'm waiting for people to get on is go ahead and start talking about calories. You know what? I've got to let my little dog in. I let him out to potty before I went live, and he just barked at me. I forgot him. I'll be back. Oh, wee wee. Mama's sorry. He says, you told me I had to do my potty business, and then you just left me out there. Poor little dude. Hey, Crystal. But what I was going to talk to you guys about, just to start off the bat, is I've noticed a lot of people. Yeah, he will. Now, when he was younger, he was a little bit afraid of the dark. But now he's sort of getting over that, and he'll go out by himself. Unless it's in the middle of the night. And then he's like, no, I ain't having none of that. You stand on the porch while I potty. So he is a little bit of a scaredy cat. I was wanting to talk about calories and the food we eat and thinking of food as fuel. And my husband was talking to me, and he's like, we've got to think about what we're eating like logs on a fire. And I'm like, that's a fantastic analogy. I want to talk about that. So as we eat, we're revving up our metabolism. So we get that fire burning. The less we eat, just like a fire that we're, during a bonfire, we're nurturing, the less wood we put on, the lower burn we get until we get it down to a little smolder. When we have something at a small smolder, we're not going to throw a big log on it, because then it's just going to continue to smolder and it's never really going to catch. So we've got to think of our metabolism as our campfire. And if we let the coals burn down too much, it's going to take longer to catch. And that's what a lot of us have done over the years, is we let, through perpetual dieting and the low calories and the poor food choices, we let our metabolism nosedive, and we've let our fire burn down the coals. So we've got to build that back up. So with the keto diet, what's wonderful about that is we're feeding ourselves good, healthy, whole foods. It's revving up that fire and it's getting it burning. So on the standard American diet, maybe somebody of my size can only afford to eat like 1,200 calories. But on the keto diet, I have my calories set up. The top number that I won't go above is 1,750. But my bottom number that I won't drop below is 1,500. I try to keep it, unless I'm intermittent fasting. But if I'm not fasting for the 24-hour period, I try to get the calories above 1,500 up to that 1,800, or not 1,800, 1,750 calorie mark. So that way, that keeps my metabolism burning high. So on a day when you go over, your body's better able to handle that. And he was reminding me, make sure you're not dropping your calories too low, because every time he sees me doing a fasting day, it sort of, I think, makes him panic a little bit that I'm going to be ruining my metabolism. So we had that discussion today, and I thought, yeah, I just want to sort of talk about that. So on a keto diet, we can afford to have more calories than what you can on the standard American diet, because the calories that we are having, our body is better able to burn. So think about that as you're picking your caloric intake and where you're going to go with that. And realize once you get started, you can raise it a little bit. Because I'm certainly eating more than I ever did in the past, caloric wise. And it's still working for me. And I know we are all different. We're all different in that. So pick a calorie ceiling for yourself that is not so low that your metabolism can't recover from that. Because we want to be able to be in this for the long haul. And we want to be able to enjoy the food that we are eating so that we want to keep this way. We want to maintain this type of eating. You know, we don't want to get bored with it. So we want to keep all that variety in there. Is anybody got any questions or anything they want to ask me? Or maybe I should look through the comments here. Yeah, 1,500. That's a, you know, pretty good. Now, just see how you lose with that. And realize when we first up, it's going to take our body a little bit of time to get used to it. So if you're just now going from 12 to 1,500, it might stall you a little bit. Don't panic about that. Just keep at it. Keep at it, and your body is going to say, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. This is, I'm happy with this, and then it'll start losing again. So I think when we're changing things up too, and I do it myself, so I'm talking from experience here, I don't give it a long enough time before I panic and change things up again. Oh, don't do your macros, you're not techie. It's macros is just how many grams of each thing we're eating. So most people on a ketogenic diet keep their carbohydrates at 5%, their protein at 20 to 25%, and their fat at 70 to 75%. So it's just a percentage of the calories that you're eating. And then that tells you how many grams of each of those that you can have. Oh, I just now turned off my top chat there. Yeah, I know protein as we get older. Yeah, we do. They say can drop our protein, but you don't want to drop it so low that you're losing your lean muscle mass. So be careful with that. Be careful thinking about lean muscle mass, because as we get older, maintaining that lean muscle mass is even more important, because that's what supports our bones and our joints and all that stuff. So we don't want to start losing and start looking like the little old frail lady walking down the street. So I would say I would never lower my protein more than 33 grams per meal. I just wouldn't. So if you eat 2 meals in a day, have at least 66 to 80 grams of protein. Now, from what I understand, and I may be wrong, I'm not a doctor and I'm not a nutritionist, your body can only absorb so much protein in a window. So like to eat any more than 40 per meal, you're basically just making a lot of expensive poo. So try to divide that protein evenly through the day so you're not getting more than 40 per meal, because, you know, then you're just wasting it. Yeah, the reason I mentioned that is because I needed to hear that too. She said she loved the video the other day when I said, if you're feeling snacky and you just can't get over that, then go ahead and just have your next meal instead of a small snack trying to get you to that time frame. Because we got to realize every time we eat, we're spiking insulin. And so if you're going to spike it, you might as well eat your full meal, and then hopefully you can go another 5 or 6 hours. Or if it's late enough in the evening, just call it done for the day. Just make sure that fat's up there to carry you through morning, and just call it done for the day. Yeah, I know there was a window. I couldn't remember if it was 30 to 40, but I think for women it's different than men, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I remember being told once before never eat more than 40 at a time. But I was thinking it was closer to 30. That's why I'm like, I try not to go over more than 33 in a meal because mine's set for 100 grams of protein in my day. So I really can't get that in because, you know, even at 33, 33, and 33, which is what I try to do, I'm coming in, 99. But if I'm only eating 2 meals a day, then I only get 66. So it just depends. But I never eat more than 40 at a time because you're just, like I said, it's just wasting it. And now, don't get me wrong, it'll make you feel satiated. I'm not saying that the bulk, like say you're doing OMAD, the bulk will make you feel full, but your body can only absorb so much of that protein. Yep, expensive pill. I had told my husband I was going live at 9, and here he is calling me, but I'm just going to reject him. If it's important and he calls back a second time, then I will answer it just to make sure he didn't break down someplace. No, 66, especially if you're only eating 2 meals a day, just 33 and 33, Deb, that's fine. I would, as long as you seem to be maintaining your lean muscle mass and you still feel strong and like nothing's getting weak, yeah. Okay, then yeah, 2 times, if you're eating 2 times a day, yep, 33 at each meal should be good. Yeah. Oh, guys. If you guys already watched my Thursday video for today, did you guys like that? Do you guys mind the videos where I'm having the alcohol? Is that because I know there's a lot that doesn't drink. So sometimes I worry a little bit about putting an alcohol video in there. You loved it? Cool. Because I'm like, well, some might not drink, but I know some do. And I still do every now and then. Good. Okay. Well, when I filmed that the other night, I had saved quite a few carbs. So I was like 4 drinks in, and I had this idea of a new drink that I had never tried to make before. So I made it, and I filmed it while I was making it. A little bit tipsy. Yeah, 5 drinks. So, keto, I was tipsy. So anyway, I filmed this, and I was like, it's funny as hell. Let me tell you guys right now. It is so funny. Hey, Nana Grace. So I was wondering, well, not in that video. It's the one I filmed after it that I haven't posted yet. During the first part of the video, you can't tell, but on the second part, you can definitely tell. And I was wondering, should I post that or not? Because, like, I even swear in it. And I normally, like, don't swear until I've had a few alcoholic beverages. And I was like, okay, if I post this, I'm going to have to put a warning on it that there's foul language. So I thought, should I post it? I know people's going to find it hilarious because I find it hilarious. I've watched it back 3 times since, and I was like, this is hilarious, and I hate to waste the footage, but at the same time, some people might find it offensive. My husband's drunk, and he hardly ever speaks when I'm filming because he's so shy, and he doesn't want people even to hear him. He's yelling in the background because he, of course, had a few drinks in. So he's hollering and yelling, and it's just funny. And I thought I might post it next week on Thursday, but put a warning on there that there's foul language. But I thought, I wonder if people would, say, oh, shame on her. So, okay, everybody says, go ahead and post it. I'm going to post it. You guys, I'm telling you what, it's hilarious. I was laughing at myself. It was hilarious. You're right. It doesn't matter what you do. Somebody's going to find you offensive. That is correct. That is correct. But here's the reason I was like, I'm either going to redo it or just post that one, because the drink, even though it was a fail and what I was wanting to do, it didn't work out. It tasted so good. It was like, oh my goodness, this tastes fantastic. And it was like 2 carbs at the most. Okay, I'm going to answer my husband because he might have broke down. Hey, babe, you're live. What you need?
Hey, baby, I didn't know that you was going live at 9. I thought you was going live at 10.
No, I was calling you. Anyway, what you need?
Okay, well, I was wanting to know as soon as you're done if you can come down here and pick us up.
All righty, I'll call you when I'm done. Bye-bye. Men don't listen, guys. They don't listen. And if any men are on here, I'm sorry, I should say my husband doesn't listen. I called him 20 minutes before and said, hey, I'm going live at 9 if you need anything. And he's like, no, I know. And then he just now says, I didn't know you were going live at 9. I thought you were going live at 10. I'm like, I told you, you don't listen. So, oh my goodness. Let's see. Catch myself up here. Lori said, yeah, she could see the tipsy in my eyes. Yeah, I filmed that part with the pomegranate pussycat. I probably filmed that. That was like 4 drinks in at that point. And you even hear me say as I'm squirting the pomegranate juice in there, I said, it's not as red as it was the last time because I'd already made that drink 3 times before. It was hilarious. Hey, Brock. Oh, my gosh. My cousin Brock is in the house. Hi, babe. Love you. He lives out in Seattle. You're correct. 3-year-old children with selective hearing. I tell everybody's like, because when I say my boys, I'm referring to my husband too, right along with Cole, Gibb, and Miles. Scott's in there, right with the boys. I love you too, Brock. I do have a gift with the booze. Always. I didn't start drinking until I met my husband. I never drank when I was younger. And then when I met him, we always hosted parties at my house. So then I would make beverages for everybody, but I was always on a diet. Always on a diet. So of course I wanted to make as low carb, low calorie versions as possible. And I would buy all those Crystal Light or Great Value drink mixes and figure out the best drinks to make with the lowest calorie impact. And I have so many little notebooks with drinks that I've made up over the years. And I was like, I need to just once a month at least. And my husband's like every other week, do 1 alcohol, 1 not, 1 alcohol, 1 not. And I thought that might be too much, but at least once a month. An alcoholic beverage. Yeah, going back to what I used to do in the day, Brock. I could, because I would have, oh my goodness, I would have a crap ton. I'd have enough to, no, well, it depends on what you're having, Crystal. So like, you have to have 70 proof or above. And it can't be, and it has to be a pure alcohol. It can't be like, okay, like the 99 peaches and the 99 cherries, even though that's over 70 proof, it is a schnapps. So they've taken something was like 150 proof, and then they add the sugar syrup to it to bring it back down to the 99. That will knock you out of ketosis. But a 70 proof vodka or a 70 proof whiskey or tequila, as long as it's a pure alcohol and it's 70 proof or above, 70 proof for a shot is typically 1.5 ounces. So when I make my drinks, I only use 1 ounce. So a shot at 70 proof is 1.5 carbs. A shot at 80 proof is 1 carb. So yeah, you've just got to be selective on the alcohol. Make sure when you're mixing it that you're using sugar-free mixers and diet colas to mix that up with. red wine, if you're getting it dry, it's got 4 carbs per glass. So that's 16 carbs in that bottle. So if you have a carb-free day, so let's say you're doing like, because there's nothing, like even your eggs has half a carb in them. So do like an egg fast on the day that you want to drink. And then you can drink that bottle. And I've done it, and I've tested myself and not been kicked out of ketosis because I'm a wine girl. Me and my husband, we brew our own wine. So I brew it too dry. I brew it as dry as you can get it. And then my husband back sweetens with sugar. I don't back sweeten my bottles, and I mark them so that I know which is mine. And then when I squirt a little bit of stevia in the bottom of my wine glass and pour in that dry wine, and it's very good. And I drink same thing because I don't want it to go to waste. So I drink a whole bottle when I drink, and I've never been kicked out. So just pick it dry. Lori got her mom drunk. Yeah, I always have alcohol in my house. Now, I hardly ever drink. When I say hardly ever, I'm talking about maybe once a month. So when you guys see a Thirsty Thursday, I normally film, like the other night, I filmed 2 of those. The time before that, I filmed 3. And just, I'll sit there and I'll have a drink. And then the next drink that I have, I'll make something different. And then the next drink I have, I'll make something different. So that I'm only drinking 1 time a month, but you guys are getting to see many different drinks that I can make. Yeah, me and my husband has 3 of the 5-gallon carboys, and then I have 10 1-gallon carboys because I like to experiment. Like what I have bubbling right now is chai tea, green chai tea mixed with a white grape, and I'm making a chai wine to see how that, but I don't want to make that in a big 5-gallon carboy, so I'm doing it in 1 gallon, and I just have it bubbling on the counter. So people walk in and they say sometimes they can smell the yeast. When you're wanting pizza, make a skillet pizza. Oh my goodness, I haven't craved pizza since starting making that. The skillet pizzas, to me, I was always a thin crust pizza girl though, so they satisfy me a lot. Well, I'm very happy with that. Like I said, I don't want pizza, real pizza. The dough part I was never a fan of the dough part of the pizza. So the skillet pizza, I'm like, yes, all the best parts right there. I'm so happy. Yeah, so you can get a low carb sauce or make your own because that's what I do. I take a can of tomato paste and a can of tomato puree, and then I go to Little Caesars and buy their Zap pack. It's $3. And in that mixture, I'll put a tablespoon from the Zap pack and a tablespoon of Italian seasoning, and I make my own pizza sauce. And then I put it in the little bottles that I did, was in that video today that I showed squirting a pomegranate juice. I keep a bigger one of those in my refrigerator with my homemade pizza sauce on it. And then when I do the skillet pizza, I just put a little squirt across the top that probably doesn't even equal out to a tablespoon of it, so that each bite just has a little bit of that pizza sauce in there. And it's so good. I should do a little tutorial on the pizza sauce, shouldn't I, for Tutorial Tuesdays. Barb, wish I had a margarita right now. Now, we had, what you guys, I'm sure already saw it, but when we went to Cleveland last week, we had the bartender make us the Ketoritas, and they turned out perfect. So I hope they kept that recipe because, other people I'm sure want low-carb stuff. But we talked them through it, and I took my own stevia to the bar, and they were perfect. They tasted so good. Does mini bottles of wine, mini bottles? Brock, I don't think we have many bottles around here of wine. I wish. I would love a little half bottle of wine. Do you? Barb said she carries the stevia in her purse now. I know I do. Oh, on your pizza, you just put a tablespoon of tomato sauce. Yeah, that'd work too. It gives you that rich tomatoey flavor. So how did you go? Okay, so you went out to eat for the first time on keto. How was it? How did it feel, giving the instructions to the waiter and ordering and all that stuff? Because I remember when I first started doing it, I was a little sort of uncomfortable. And now it's like I'm just bossy Bosserton when we go to the restaurants. I have no problem. Oh my goodness, that sounds awesome. Sounds very good. So you just took your lemon dressing with you to the restaurant? I keep it in there probably longer than you should, but it's never made me sick. I've had it in there at 1.3 weeks and used it. So I make probably in a week 2 to 3 skillet pizzas in a week. And I also, one of my boys is keto. So with him also making the skillet pizzas, let's say we make 6 in this house in a week. So we can go through that sauce pretty quickly. It is 12 ounces is how much sauce it makes. There's 12 ounces. So if we're using a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons, that's less than 20 servings. So we can go through it pretty quickly. I do, Lori. I have, okay, Walmart has them, these little round containers in the personal hygiene section where you get all your soap containers for traveling. And they have these little 2-packs for $1. And they're different colors and they hold an ounce of Kerrygold butter. And I buy those and I keep Kerrygold butter in one and I keep my cacao butter in one. And I put it in my pouch so that when I'm out and about in the community, I have the stuff to make me a bulletproof coffee if I want it, or just to throw it on veggies if I'm someplace and, if I need to up my fats. So I do carry that stuff with me too. Check out Walmart. Those little containers, they come with a lid, that screw-on lid instead of a plastic snap-on lid, and I've never had one leak. And I've been carrying this kind of stuff since I started, and I've never had a problem with leakage in my purse or anything like that. I've never had the cauliflower crust because, like I said, I was never a crust fan of the pizza anyway. So I'm just happy just to throw it in the skillet and cook the cheese and the pepperoni. But I love Hersheytown, Pennsylvania. It's so cute. It is so cute. Yes, Brock, I love the garlic sauce base. Do you remember when you lived here in that plus one pizza place? They have a white garlic sauce base that is awesome there. Awesome. Yeah, I forget about pesto base. Me and Miles ordered pizza one time, and I can't remember where we were at or where we got it from, but it came with a pesto base, and it was so good. And I thought, "Ooh, I've got to get this again," and then totally have not thought about it until you just mentioned it. Okay, Soleil water. I take in Soleil water, 4 tablespoons, so 2 ounces in my Ketoraid throughout the day. When I wake up, I put a teaspoon in a cup of coffee before I have anything else. So that's sitting by my bed. I wake up, I just down it and then go about my morning routine. And then I put a teaspoon in my first cup of coffee in the morning. So right there, I'm getting almost 5 tablespoons of Soleil water without putting any salt on my food or any other Soleil water throughout the day. So what they say is if you're getting at least 2 tablespoons is half your daily allowance of sodium. So, and anything you up from there is beneficial. So you want at least 5,000 milligrams of sodium a day, 5 to 8. I try to keep mine up around the 8,000 milligrams. So each teaspoon of Soleil water is 478 milligrams. So that's how you can figure that. Try to ingest at least 4 tablespoons in a day. Will keep you feeling good. I am the container queen. I tell you what, my husband about wants to choke me. I have such a container obsession. Yeah, Aldi's Kerrygold butter is $2.88, I think. Where if I go to Respecs, it's 4 something. So there is a big price difference between Aldi and everyone else. Yeah, I've got mocha. I've got the skinny syrup mocha that is calorie free, and I add that to my unsweetened vanilla almond milk. So then it's dairy free. Ooh, want to be better? I'm going to have to try that. Her new favorite dessert is 6 pecans, 30 lily chips, and a tablespoon of coffee booster. That sounds good. So it's almost like a candied pecan. Ooh. Okay, now, Barbara, I just did that this week, the full-fat Greek yogurt, because Tammy's always talking about it and how you can have the carbs on that. And I would never eat a full cup anyway. So I did a half a cup serving, and I put a squirt of my Torini's s'mores in there, which is 1 tablespoon. So I put half a cup of the yogurt, 1 tablespoon of the s'mores, and mixed that up, and it was so good. And my body handled it just fine. So yeah, she's right. We can have yogurt. Yeah. Yep. So Lily's Chips, Brock, are sugar-free chocolate chips, and they're made with stevia. So they're very, very good. And guys, our town finally got them. So I haven't even tasted them yet because I'm wanting to do it on a video. So I'm not sure when. Probably tomorrow night or sometime I'll sit down. But I got the Lily's mini chips. I got just the plain chocolate bar with almonds, the chocolate bar with cacao nibs. I got 4 of them. I got 4 bars, and now I can't remember what 4 I got. But the salted caramel, the one Amy said was the best, they didn't have. So I'm so disappointed because I wanted to try that. But at least I did get 4 plus the little mini chips to try. See, I haven't tried the Mio yet because I didn't have any on hand. But I'll tell you what, the s'mores was very, very good. Oh, and then after I'd already eaten it, I was like, oh my goodness, I should have put some hemp seeds on there, or like a hemp chia sunflower seed mixture to make it like granola on the top. That would have tasted so good. You're trying to make me jealous. She said the salted caramel was so good, Amy didn't lie. I'm just going to have to keep looking for it. When I'm in a bigger city, I'm going to have to go look for it. Okay, Nana Grace says she puts the pecans with dark chocolate and tablespoons of butter and then melt it. I'm going to have to try this pecan mixture. You guys, that sounds so good. I agree. Keto is amazing. I will eat this way for the rest of my life, and I can't imagine doing anything different. And then I think about all the years, and it almost makes me sad to the point sometimes where I've almost cried about it. I'm like, if I would have found this when I first started developing a weight problem 20 years ago, this is something I would have jumped on board with back then if somebody would have just told me about it. Just told me about it. Oh, yes. Brock worked at this restaurant that made their own homemade chocolate and marshmallows. And they had these little fire pits that you sat at and made homemade s'mores with homemade graham crackers. It was so good. Oh, my goodness. You're right. Want to be better says maybe we needed to be overweight so that we could help people in the future. Because that's what I said. I will be screaming this diet for the rest of my life. Anybody that questions me about how am I losing weight, I am so happy to talk about it. I'm like, let me give you the key. Let me give you the key. Keto, keto, keto. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I checked our Walgreens and they do not carry it. Never heard of it. Yep. And the guy that I was talking to in there, he says I'm the one that does the chocolate orders. He says so I can tell you it's not something that's on our list of things they're allowed to order. So each Walgreens, depending on the city that they're in, has a certain list that they order from, and that's all they're allowed to get. So they must feel like our town's not big enough to support the Lily's chocolate. The only sugar-free chocolates they had was the little sugar-free packs of Hershey's, which were only 55% dark chocolate. So the carb count on those, I turned it over and looked, and I was like, no way. No way am I eating that. Yeah, maybe we just weren't ready for it then, but I have been battling my weight my whole life. And I have lost 100 pounds before. I went on a diet once before and lost 110 pounds in in a short amount of time. I'm 110 pounds in like 6 months. So I beat what I'm doing here on keto. Um, but I was starving to death constantly and I was miserable. I was not a happy camper. The people that was around me during that time period in my life didn't want to be around me. And finally, I was just like, I can't live like this. I would rather be fat and sassy than as miserable as I was back then. And I just was like, forget it. But with keto, within 2 weeks, I was like, I could do this for the rest of my life. And that mentality has only gotten better. I mean, I've not had a moment where I was like, I can't do this. I've not had a moment where I lost faith in what this diet, with what this way of eating could do for me. So sorry about that. My cat's getting up messing. Come on, Ella. She's messing on the table. She's like, what is this? Rubbing her face on the tripod. Oh, yeah, Nana Grace, you're blessed then because I grew up in a family that rewarded us with food. And not just rewarded us, like they felt like to give food was to give love. My dad come home from work every night. He got up at 4 o'clock and he would stop on his way home from work and he would pick up a newspaper and each one of us a candy bar. So he'd bring me home every single night a Reese cup, my sister Charlene a whatchamacallit, and my sister Brenda a Snicker bar. Every single night our whole lives growing up. And we each got a 2 liter of pop to drink in that evening. It wasn't like that was for, here, we're going to give you a 2 liter of pop to last you a week. It was every night. Every night we had a candy bar and a 2 liter of pop. Yes, Brock, and McDonald's. You're right. Yeah, Brock lived with us most of his life too. I've always told him he's the brother we never had because my parents only had daughters. So Brock was our brother from another mother. I know, we all loved it. We all liked our little chunky monkey selves. Oh, wow. So your dad lived to 93. That is fantastic. Oh, he's overlaying in his dog bed. Barb, when I started the live, he was outside pottying, and I actually forgot that I had let him out to potty. So I sat down to the live, and he started barking to get in the door. So now he's laying over in his dog bed, sort of like pouting because I left him out too long. Now, you had some good parents. Yeah, Nana says she has never had pop ever. Candy was only at Easter, and they never went to McDonald's. I remember my first Big Mac. I remember that day so vividly. I was 6 years old, and I had only, up till that point, gotten Happy Meals. It was always a cheeseburger Happy Meal, cheeseburger Happy Meal. My dad always got a Big Mac. Like every time we went into McDonald's, he got a Big Mac. And I remember saying, Dad, I want to try a Big Mac. And at that time, at 6, I was extremely underweight. My sister, who was much younger than me, was bigger than me at that point in time because I had a heart condition. I was just very, very tiny. And my dad's like, you're not going to be able to eat a Big Mac. I'm like, if you give me one, I will eat it. And I ate, at 6 years old, I ate that whole Big Mac. And that's when my obsession with McDonald's and food started. And it was just like, I dreamed about Big Macs. That's all I wanted to eat from that moment on was McDonald's, French fries, and Big Macs. You know, I couldn't even tell you if they tasted better because I haven't had a Big Mac in a very long time. I don't want to say I phased McDonald's out. I haven't, but I'm a cheap girl. And once they started the dollar menu, I quit eating the Big Macs. I would just get the dollar McDoubles, and I would get 2 of them with a value fry and a large Diet Cola, and that would be it every single time I go. So, and then I still eat at McDonald's, but now I just get 2 plain McDoubles, no bun. And so they put 4 patties in this little McNugget box. And that's what I eat. I give 1 to Wee Wee and I eat the other 3. Yeah, I can see that too, Cindy. She says that family dinners was the only time that they got together, so she ate an extra helping so she could drag that out and spend more time with her parents. My dad got home at 4:30. My mom didn't get home till 7:30. So we typically had already ate something before my mom come in. And then when my mom got home, while she was having her dinner, we would have a huge snack. So there we were at 8 o'clock eating again. And we always sat down and like watched TV programming from 8 to 9, whatever my dad wanted to watch on TV. And during that time, we were sitting in the living room eating while my mom ate her dinner. So we had bad habits, very bad habits when we were growing up. Oh, I bet the menu's different in each country you go to. Plus the rules. Their rules for foods and chemicals are different each country. So McDonald's has to change it up no matter where they're at. Yeah, I was looking at, we were going to make, there was a Big Mac casserole somebody had posted on a keto page. And I thought, ooh, I'm going to make that. And it called for Thousand Island dressing. So I went, and every Thousand Island dressing has 4 carbs per tablespoon. And I'm like, how is that keto friendly? No, I'm not making this Big Mac casserole. So I threw that recipe away. I was like, I'm not even going to try to make it because it was too carb heavy for me unless I was doing OMAD And that was going to be the only thing I ate that day. Maybe it was Catherine Michelle. I don't remember. No, somebody saved it to one of the keto, but it still could have been her recipe. But somebody saved it to one of the keto groups that I'm on. And so I was like, I copied it down, was going to make it. Too much for me. She made homemade sauce. Okay, well then I am going to go to her page and watch that video because I really wanted to try it. Yeah, see, Brock, I've heard of the Big Mac salad too, but the problem is the Thousand Island dressing is so carb heavy. So unless I can find a low carb version, I'm not willing to give up that much carbs for just a dressing. Mayo, dill relish, and low sugar ketchup. Sounds easy enough. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Brock, Charlene is going to be so upset that she's missing this right now. She had to take Mickey because he works night shift, so she's out taking him dinner right now, and she's like, I'm gonna miss the live tonight because I gotta take Mickey his lunch or dinner or whatever you call it when you're working night shift, and she's gonna be so upset that she's missing you. uh there was something I wanted to talk to you guys about, and I was like, I'll mention that tonight during the live, and now I'm drawing a blank. I'm like, what was it? And now I can't even remember. And you know what, guys? It'll come to me as soon as I turn the camera on. I'll be like, that's what it was. See, and this diet's supposed to take the brain fog away, which I noticed that I don't. Just make another drink. That's right. I should have one in my hand right now, which I do. I got Creo brew. Oh, which is getting cold. But that's okay. It's just as good cold as it is hot. I will love Tammy forever for hooking me up with that stuff. See, I've never had the kale chips either, but I did have, and somebody showed them in their haul, and I was like, I wish they would have said what they thought about them. They're little packets of nori chips, which they're just flat pieces of nori, and then you can get them in sriracha flavored or ranch flavored, wasabi flavored, but there was those little nori chips or nori seaweed flakes or whatever. I got those and they were horrible. And I love sushi and that kind of stuff, so I'm a fan of nori, but in those little, they were supposed to be like little chip bags. It was horrible. So I don't know what chemicals they put on there. So the person that did that haul the other day, and they like, I've never tasted these before. I can't wait to try. I thought, oh, I wish they had tasted them and come back and said what they thought. No, I haven't, but I noticed that myself. Brock, I am like scratching at 100 pounds. So since you saw me last, because when I was out at Seattle, I was at almost my biggest. So I'm 100 pounds thinner than the last time you saw me. So are you coming out here? You were supposed to be coming out here at the end of the month. What's going on with that? Because me and Charlotte was just talking about that today, that you haven't mentioned it. So if you're still coming out, you'll see me. I've never measured my neck. I needed to do that. Maybe I should go ahead and take that measurement and add it in and then just go from here. Thanks. Like I said, this will be the way I eat for the rest of my life. So I told my husband, I said, I don't care if I don't lose another pound from today. I will never be anything other than keto. Because for me, it's not about the weight loss. It's about the blood pressure control and the diabetes control, the edema control. I mean, my arthritis doesn't hurt anymore. Okay, I'll talk to you about it later. um, yeah, so for me, it's all that other stuff. The weight loss is just a happy side effect. Yes, food. Well, I was gonna get the Walden's Farm, but like it was almost $4 a bottle, and I've seen people do interview or reviews of it, and everybody says it's horrible. So I hated the thought of wasting $4 for something I'm probably gonna throw away. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people don't like it. And then you think about it, Keto Connect, Matt and Mega, they're like, there's nothing in here but chemicals. And they went through the lab and they tried it. And there was one that Matt really, really loved. Mega didn't like them at all, I don't think. But he's like, you're straight, it's just straight up chemical. There's nothing really natural in it except for the water. So I'm like, I don't know. But our Walmart has two. It has ranch, and I can't remember what the other one is. But they do have two of them. So maybe one of these days when I get a bonus. See, I need to do that, Deb. I need to make all my own dressings. But the only one I make, and then it's not even really, do you call it making it, where you buy the little ranch packet and then you just add it to the sour cream? But that's what I just buy the little dry packets and add it in. And the dry Italian packet is good, and as a creamy Italian, just mix it in with sour cream too. That tastes really good. It's different. Oh, see, I could eat ranch. I could drink a bottle of ranch. I'm bad with the ranch, and that's been always. I used to take ranch and sweet and sour dressing, especially from the Amish. The Amish place out the road from us, they make their own. So I would take and I put the ranch on the salad first, and then I would top that with the sweet and sour dressing. And the way that mingled together, just, yeah, my brain loved it. But I'm telling you, that salad, there was more dressing than there was. You had to actually dig to find the lettuce. Blue cheese, lemon vinaigrette, and balsamic vinaigrette. They sound good. Now, I'm going to have to start trying this lemon vinaigrette. I love balsamic vinaigrette. And I have never, ever had blue cheese dressing. So I don't know. I don't know if I would like it. I've never had it. I'm going to have to give it a shot. My husband's allergic to it. That's one of the reasons I don't buy it. My husband's allergic to penicillin. Therefore, he's allergic to blue cheese dressing. So, yeah, I've got to be careful with the cheeses because of his allergy. Now, me and Miles did a Reuben casserole when we first started this diet. That was awesome. And I've totally forgotten about that. I'll need to see if I can find that recipe because that Reuben casserole was good. It was very good. See, I love anchovies too. I love that salty, briny stuff. This sugar-free, see, I see other people, the barbecue sauce, I see other people talking about that. I have hunted everywhere around me, and we just don't get it around here. Our Walmart doesn't have it. Respecs doesn't have it. So I went over to the neighboring town. I thought the Kroger's over there would have it. Nope. No sugar-free barbecue sauces anywhere that I could find. That's okay, Brock. We were talking about cocktails at the beginning of this, so that's what my Thirsty Thursday was on today, about making a drink. And then after that one, I had filmed another one, but I was so drunk in it that it was a little over the top with language. So I was debating whether I should post it or not for next week. Okay, so keto with Christy, Reuben casserole. I will look that up. Amazon has the barbecue sauce. I'm going to have to check that out too. Oh, okay. I didn't know Walmart would do that. Order stuff for you. Okay. This year I will. My suggestion for a starter and a stopper, somebody who really wants to do this, is your first 2 weeks, make sure on day one that you're supplementing those electrolytes, the Ketoraid. So after this video ends, I will put my recipe for Ketoraid in the description box. So supplement your Ketoraid, make sure you're getting your electrolytes up. Get my favorite bouillon cube is the Knorr chicken cubes. Make sure you're having some of that every day because the sodium in there is going to help you with your electrolytes, and it's just satisfying. It's like when you're feeling sicky, what is better than chicken broth? So I would say have a Knorr chicken cube every day. Make sure you're getting your carbs aren't too low. So I would suggest not starting at 20 total like a lot of people tell you to. Start at 20 net. So that way you're making sure you're getting in enough big green leafy salads so that you're constantly feeling full. And I would say have your fat higher the first 2 weeks to a month of your diet than what you're going to. So most people start a ketogenic diet at 5, 25, and 70. Start yours at 5, 15, and 80 and do that for your first month. And you might not lose a lot of weight if you do that. And that's okay because you're wanting to first get over the keto flu, get rid of all those carb cravings, and get yourself into ketosis. So start out at 5, 15, and 80. Making sure you're supplementing that sodium. Remember, base is 5,000 milligrams a day. I take in 8,000. Tammy over at Keto in the Chaos, she does nearly 10,000 a day. So everybody's is different what we actually need because it actually depends on how much we salt our food. And I salt my food a lot. But the main thing is to stay at least above 5,000 milligrams. Okay. Yeah, the Knorr cubes are the best in my opinion. Yeah, and that's it. When I started, I just jumped off and started too. So if I could go back with the knowledge that I have now, my start would be so much better. But then at the same time, I know that I had a better start than most because I love salty food. I mean, I was a saltaholic. I salted everything before I started keto. So, salt's my friend. I'm going to have to start doing this ordering online with Walmart a lot more because there's a lot of things that I wish they would get that they don't. Like they used to get jicama for me and they won't anymore because they said I was the only one. They had to order so many and I was the only one buying them, so the rest would sit there and rot. So they won't order the jicama for me no more. Because I can only get one. We can only eat so much because jicama is one of those yellow caution root vegetables. So you can have a little bit, but you can't, and you don't want to have it all the time because you don't want it to become one of your habit foods. Just like the rutabaga that I made the other day. That could very easily slip into a poor food choice. So it's in that caution level where 100 grams once a month is going to be okay. So I wouldn't want to be buying a rutabaga nor a jicama every week at the grocery store. You watched a Dr. Westman video and started the next meal. I was watching Go Keto with Casey. And in that video, she said, I realized I'd had too many carbs for the day. She goes, and I just started, my next meal was keto. Well, I looked down and I was drinking a green peach tea at the time that had trace, I mean, it wasn't a lot of sugar, but there was a little bit of sugar in that. And I realized it was later in the evening and I'd already had all my carbs for that day. I got up and I dumped that green tea down the sink and I started keto in that moment. I was like, yep, I'm keto from this moment on. And I watched as many of Casey's videos in that first month. I just went back to her first video and started watching and just put it on autoplay. And I just watched every video that she put out in that first month to keep myself motivated. Yeah, keto's not a fad. I mean, I don't know of too many people, honestly, that start it and don't stick with it because it's not a fad. We feel so fantastic that you can't imagine wanting to feel any different. I think about how I felt, not just when I was at my sickest a year ago, but even in my later 20s and my early 30s, thinking about how I felt. Because I feel better now than I did in my mid-20s. Physically, the way my body feels, mentally, all of it, across the board. My mental health is better. My physical health is better. My overall well-being is better. The way I treat people is better. It affects every avenue of your life. So keto is not just about food and fuel. It affects everything. When I say it's the key to happiness, that for me it is. Everything about my mentality changed when I started keto. The depression lifted, the fog lifted, the feeling sorry for myself lifted, the wanting to hibernate and hide in the house lifted. And that was before I lost the weight. That means I was still up above 300 pounds when all of this stuff started lifting for me and the mentality changed and I wanted to get out and do things. And I was like, I don't care if I'm 300 pounds. I'm getting out there and I'm enjoying my life before it passes me by. So that had changed for me in the first month. So it was a total brain shift. The way it just rewires how we think. Yep. Oh yeah, I'm friends with Michelle Monroe on there. Love her. Love her. Oh, heard from her. Yesterday, she was going to be on here tonight. Matter of fact, she said that she was, so actually it was today. I posted today that I was going to do the live tonight at 9 instead of 10. And she posted back that she was going to try to watch it tonight. So I heard from her today, but I haven't seen a video and I think it's been a week. And that's like Dawn. Has anybody heard from Can I Keto? I haven't heard from Dawn in a while either. Yeah, now I'm sure for anybody that's had chronic pain, it's going to take a while for that to heal. And especially if like tissue, like the cartilage and that kind of stuff has already started to break down and nerve damage being done, that's going to take a while to heal. And making sure that your fats are high enough that you're getting in there and lubricating everything up. Yeah, it's amazing how much keto affects inflammation and brings everything into balance. I try. I just keep thinking, as long as I just keep telling everybody what I'm experiencing, whether it's good or bad and where my mindset's at, because I figure even if my mindset for that day or that week was negative or how I was feeling, somebody's going to feel the same way that I was feeling and be able to relate to that. And I figure sometimes that's all it takes to keep us on track, is so people don't feel alone. So people don't feel like I'm the only one feeling this, or I'm the only one experiencing this, or because by the end of this month, I have a feeling I might, because with the inflammation that I had with wee wee, and I didn't eat off plan, so all of that weight gain just came from stress. And I haven't even still got it all off yet. I'm half a pound from my lowest weight. I'm still half a pound away from that. So this month, I might not lose anything at all. But I didn't really gain anything either. And I know I didn't eat off plan. So it doesn't bother me. I mean, I hope at the end of March that I can hit that 100-pound loss mark. But if I don't, I'll hit it in a week. I'll hit it in 2 weeks. I know I'm still going in the right direction. So like the depression over that, how it used to be if I got on that scale and that scale didn't tell me what I expected to see, I would get so depressed and upset. And now it doesn't bother me at all. I'm like, hey, I'm on the right path. I'll get there someday. Yep. Oh, good night, Nana Grace. I'm so glad you stopped in. Oh my goodness, guys. I didn't realize it was after 10 o'clock. Oh my gosh. It's felt like we've barely been on here any time at all. So, yeah, my husband's needing a ride. That's what he called about, by the way, when he called. He needed a ride out. And I told him, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll come get you sometime. Oh, thank you, guys. I love all you guys, and I love hearing all of your achievements and your successes and your setbacks. I mean, anything that you guys like to share, I love it, because I feel like we're all in this together. We're supporting each other. And sometimes it's just hard to get the support we need from our family and our friends if they're not on the same journey, because they just don't understand it. I don't think Butter Bob's put out a video in at least 8 months. I don't think so. And I loved him too, especially his chili one, making his pants fall off. I love those videos. Alrighty, guys, I do have to go pick up my husband. Now I got to put back on my clothes, come in my PJs. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just put my boots on over my PJs and go get him. Alrighty, guys, you have a great night, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Blessings.